What if I told you that the harder you try to force your dreams into existence, the further they move away from you? What if the very struggle you're proud of, the effort, the pressure, the obsession is the exact reason your life hasn't changed yet?
Think about that, because the universe does not respond to desperation. It does not respond to begging. It does not respond to effort soaked in fear.
The universe responds to who you are being, and most people don't realize this until exhaustion humbles them. You see, detachment is not weakness. Detachment is not quitting. Detachment is not giving up on your dreams. Detachment is freedom. The moment you release control, life starts to flow.
Not quitting. Detachment is not giving up on your dreams. Detachment is freedom. The moment you release control, life starts to flow. This is the law of detachment. When you detach from everything, you attract everything. When you no longer need anything outside of yourself to feel complete, everything begins to move toward you naturally. When you stop needing, you start receiving. Here's a truth most people are never told. The best things in life don't come when you chase them. They come when you stop searching and start becoming. Watch your thoughts. They become your words. Watch your words. They become your actions. Watch your actions. They shape your future. But here's the deeper secret. Letting go only feels scary when you don't trust life. Once you understand this truth, that life never takes something away without preparing something better in return, fear disappears. That's the real secret of letting go. It's not loss. It's alignment. It's peace. Life is not against you. Life is not punishing you. Life is one intelligent, unified movement, and you are inside it, not separate from it. And when you finally realize that, something inside you softens. A crucial part of manifesting anything you desire is detachment. But let's be clear, detachment does not mean you stop wanting. Detachment means you stop worrying. It means you release the anxiety, the obsession, the constant checking to see, did it happen yet? Detachment is quiet confidence. It's knowing your desire is already yours, even before you see it. And because you know that, you stop forcing, you stop chasing, you stop gripping life with clenched fists. There's a paradox most people never understand. To receive what you want, you must stop running after it. The universe doesn't hear your words. It feels your energy. When you push, when you strain, when you try to control every detail, you are broadcasting one message: I don't have it. And the universe always echoes your state of being. More wanting, more waiting, more lack. But when you shift your identity, when you feel, act, and live as though what you desire is already done, reality rearranges itself. Not because you forced it, but because you finally matched it. Have you ever noticed how some people attract love, success, and abundance effortlessly? It's not luck. They don't chase abundance. They radiate it. They don't hunt for love. They are love. They don't wait to feel worthy. They move as if worthiness was never a question. So here is the truth: stop grasping. Let go of control. Align instead. When you feel gratitude for what you already have, when you emotionally occupy the reality you want to live in, life responds. Not because you demanded it, but because you became it. The only thing standing between you and your desires is not the universe. It's you. Stop trying. Start being. And remember this: some people call it luck. Others call it coincidence. But real ones know. It's the refusal to quit believing even when nothing has changed yet. It may not happen now, but if you stay aligned, it will happen. Because once your subconscious experiences success, even once, it stores that feeling like a blueprint. And from that moment forward, your mind begins guiding you toward repetition. Success creates success. But here's where most people get it wrong. You must stay committed to the process without clinging to the outcome. That's the law of detachment in action. You move forward with purpose, but without desperation. And in that balance, your mind becomes calm, focused, creative. That's when resistance dissolves. Most people don't realize this, but anxiety is not caused by reality. Anxiety is caused by expectation. It's the feeling that something bad might happen, even though it hasn't happened and probably never will. Anxiety is your mind living in a future that doesn't exist yet and suffering as if it already does. And here's the truth. No one teaches you the law of detachment doesn't just help you manifest, it heals your nervous system. When you are attached to an outcome, your emotions are no longer free. You become reactive. You become fragile. You become controlled by what should happen. You walk through life tensely guarded, bracing for disappointment. And the irony, the more you care desperately, the worse your results become. Detachment doesn't mean you stop moving forward. It means you stop emotionally suffocating your future. You release your grip on how and when success must arrive. You stop telling life, it has to happen like this or else. Because when you expect nothing, everything becomes a gift. Think about it. When you expect something from someone and they don't give it to you, resentment is born. That resentment slowly poisons relationships, not because people failed you, but because expectations imprisoned you. The same thing happens with goals. You expect success by a certain age, a certain income by a certain time, a certain outcome by a certain effort. And when life doesn't follow your script, you turn that disappointment inward. You begin questioning your worth. That's attachment. Detachment is saying, oh, I will give my best, but I will not tie my identity to the result. That single shift changes everything. Most people are chasing dreams that were never truly theirs. Dreams handed to them by society, by family expectations, by comparison, by social media. But when you detach from external validation, when you start doing things simply because they bring you alive, pressure disappears. Joy returns. If you love drawing, draw. Even if you're terrible. If you love singing, sing. Even if no one hears you. If you love learning, learn. Even if it never turns into a title or applause. Why? Because when you detach from outcome, you become unstoppable. Failure no longer defines you. Rejection no longer wounds you. Delay no longer breaks you. And here's something powerful. The moment you stop needing success, success starts finding you. Because neediness repels. Wholeness attracts. There comes a moment in life, often after exhaustion, heartbreak, or burnout, where you finally say, whatever is meant for me will find me. And the instant you truly believe that, things start aligning fast. Not slowly, not painfully, but naturally. That belief is not naive, it is power in its purest form. Because belief silences fear. Belief deletes distraction. Belief makes the how irrelevant and locks you into the why. Most people suffer because they keep reopening the door to anxiety. They replay conversations. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They negotiate with fear. But when belief becomes dominant, noise fades. You move differently. You speak with certainty. You stop performing and start becoming. Manifestation does not respond to effort alone. It responds to identity. And identity shifts when belief becomes stronger than doubt. You don't need a perfect plan. You need conviction. The kind that walks through uncertainty like it's already seen the destination. Life never takes something from you without preparing something better. But attachment blinds you to that truth. It convinces you that loss is punishment instead of redirection. Detachment is stepping out of the way. You've already planted the seed. You've already aligned the soil. You've already done the work. Now you let life breathe. When you obsess, you signal lack. When you overthink, you create resistance. When you force, you delay. But when you trust, flow begins. Faster, smoother. Unexpected desire is the spark. Belief is the fuel. But detachment is the doorway. When you let go, you let it in. Here's the truth most people never hear. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Your life right now is a perfect reflection of your identity, not your wishes, not your affirmations, not your effort, your self-concept. This is why so many people work hard, visualize daily, pray constantly, and still stay stuck. Because the subconscious mind does not respond to hope. It responds to familiar identity. It does not ask, what do you want? It asks, who do you believe you are? Your subconscious mind lives in the present. It does not understand someday. It does not understand one day. It only understands now. So when you say, I will be successful someday, your mind hears, no, I am not successful now. And it works tirelessly to prove that belief true. That's why belief is not positive thinking. Belief is self-permission. Permission to become someone new before the evidence appears. Neuroplasticity proves this. The brain rewires itself based on repetition, emotion, and identity, not logic, not motivation. Identity. If you see yourself as a struggling person, you will unconsciously reject opportunity. If you see yourself as undeserving, you will self-sabotage success. If you see yourself as behind, you will always chase, never arrive. Transformation happens when you stop asking, how do I get there? And start asking, who must I become? Here's the paradox. You don't become confident after success. You become confident before success. You don't feel worthy after winning. You feel worthy before the win. The external world follows the internal declaration. That's why visualization works, but only when it's emotional. You can't just see the goal. You must feel like the person who already has it. Feel their calm, their certainty, their grounded presence. Because the body doesn't know the difference between imagined emotion and real experience. Elite performers understand this. They don't visualize winning, they visualize the process, the work, the discomfort, the repetition, the grind. Because identity is built in action, not fantasy. Belief is a skill. And like any skill, it feels unnatural at first. It feels ridiculous to believe in abundance when you're broke. It feels delusional to believe in confidence when you feel insecure. It feels impossible to see greatness when no one else does. But every great identity began as a contradiction. If you can sit alone and have a conversation with yourself where you decide, I am becoming something different, your entire life starts to reorganize. Your mind is the steering wheel of your life. And if you don't grab it, someone else will. Society, fear, trauma, other people's limitations. The people around you matter more than you think. You speak like them. You think like them. You dream like them. If you surround yourself with fear, you will live cautiously. If you surround yourself with excuses, you will justify mediocrity. If you surround yourself with vision, you will rise. You cannot scratch with turkeys and expect to fly with eagles. This is where detachment returns. You must detach from environments that reinforce an identity you're trying to outgrow, not out of arrogance, out of survival. You don't accidentally become great. You don't stumble into fulfillment. Every meaningful life was built intentionally, with vision, with discomfort, with conscious repetition. See the future in your mind clearly, not the outcome, but the version of you who earned it. How do they wake up? How do they think? How do they respond to pressure? That image programs your brain to search for solutions. Your reticular activating system filters reality. You see only what matches your identity. If you believe you're a 100K person, you'll see 100K opportunities. If you believe you're limited, you'll see walls everywhere. Belief doesn't remove struggle. It removes confusion. You stop asking, is this possible? And start saying, this is inevitable. You cannot go to places physically that you have not first visited emotionally. Feel it first. Live it internally. Let the body adapt. Then reality catches up. Listen closely. This is where everything comes together. This is the line between people who consume motivation and people who become unstoppable. Here is the final truth. You don't suffer because you want too little. You suffer because you are too attached. Attached to outcomes, attached to timelines, attached to approval, attached to how it should look. Attachment is silent resistance. The moment you say, I need this to happen, you give it power over you. And whatever has power over you controls your emotional state. That's why anxiety exists. Anxiety is not fear of failure. It's attachment to a future you're trying to control. Detachment is not quitting. Detachment is mastery. It is saying, I am committed to the work, but I am not desperate for the result. That energy is dangerous in a good way, because nothing repels success faster than neediness. When you stop needing validation, respect finds you. When you stop chasing money, value multiplies. When you stop forcing outcomes, life accelerates. This is the paradox. The second you stop gripping life with white knuckles, life opens its hands to you. You were never meant to control everything. You were meant to align, act, and allow. Control is the language of fear. Flow is the language of power. Here is the discipline of detachment. You plan, you prepare, you execute, then you release the outcome. You don't rehearse failure. You don't argue with reality. You don't overthink the timing. You move forward anyway. Most people sabotage themselves here. They do the work, then destroy it with expectation. They say, I did everything right. Why hasn't it happened yet? That question poisons belief. Instead, the unstoppable say, it's done. Now I keep moving. This is where peace replaces pressure. You stop waking up anxious. You stop checking results obsessively. You stop negotiating with fear. You become grounded. And grounded people are magnetic. Detachment creates clarity. When you're not emotionally tangled in outcomes, you make better decisions. You adapt faster. You respond instead of react. You see opportunities others miss. This is why obsession with results weakens performance. The athlete tightens up. The speaker freezes. The interview fails because attachment steals presence. Presence is power, and power flows through those who are fully here. Now listen carefully. This is the call to action, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now, from this moment forward, stop chasing, start becoming. Stop begging life, start aligning with it. Stop waiting for proof. Be the proof. Your job is no longer to force the future. Your job is to show up today as the person who deserves it. That means, well, you do the work even when no one claps. You stay disciplined when motivation disappears. You detach from people who drain your identity. You release timelines and trust execution. You stop negotiating with comfort. Every decision now asks one question: does this move me toward who I am becoming or away from it? If it moves you away, it's a no. No explanation required. No guilt allowed. Build your inner world. If you build it beautifully, life will send the evidence. Remember this: if you're obsessed, you're attached. If you're calm, you're aligned. Calm is not weakness. Calm is certainty. You don't need more information. You need integration. You need movement. You need embodiment. So here it is. Final words. Let go and step forward anyway. Detach and act with conviction. Trust and execute relentlessly. You were never behind. You were being prepared. Now stop watching. Stop waiting. Move. Thank you for being with InnerStrength. If this unified story has touched your ambition, your purpose, or your American dreams, stay connected with us. Don't let motivation end with a period. Let it continue with action. Subscribe to InnerStrength. Press the like button to support more powerful content, and share this message with someone across the USA who needs to hear it today. InnerStrength is here every day to remind you: stay hungry, stay strong, and never stay down.